Hey, thank you so much for joining our Zoom call. I have a couple of people from our team who attended the Sonya Dudley training in Springfield, Missouri, and they're going to tell you their top takeaways. I'm super excited to hear from them because I didn't really get a chance to talk to everyone about their takeaways from this amazing mindset training. So I'm really excited to hear what they have to say. So we have Tiffany Cuesta, Carol Blood, Jessica Lightfoot, and Heather Mulligan, and they're going to share their top takeaways tonight. So I'm going to let Tiffany start first. So go ahead, Tiffany.
Okay. Hi, guys. So learned so much. So it's hard to just pinpoint just a couple of things to talk about. But my husband and I, when we were debriefing, we really, really enjoyed the 5 C's that we learned, which is connect, curiosity, care, cultivate, and continue. So when you're meeting your new prospects, when you're out and about, you always want to make that connection, and then show that you care about them and that you're trying to build that trust and that relationship with them instead of talking about yourself, because that's really easy to do when you're in a business like this. You really want to build that trust and that personal relationship about them and their needs and stuff. So, and then cultivate into that deeper and deeper, and then continue that same model with each prospect that you're meeting. So in the end, you're mainly, focusing on their wants and their needs and their issues instead of puking plexus or talking about yourself. And yes, it is great to talk about your own personal testimonial, but so I think that was a really big thing that I loved. And then a lot of it keeps coming back to the same thing that we keep hearing about is mindset, how important it is to self-talk and reprogram yourself from everything that we have been told through all these years. So, okay, hold on. I'm live, so if you could, thanks. My baby needs me already. Sorry. So mindset is a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. So I don't know if everyone has had the opportunity to read What to Say When Talking to Yourself. We read that in September, and it was life-changing for me. And Sonya talked about that same book last Saturday, and just it kind of kept popping up things in that book that stood out to me. But so I actually just pulled the book back out and I set it on my nightstand for when I get home after Thanksgiving to start reading it again and refresh, because a lot of the things that she was talking about with mindset, it takes time to change the way your mind thinks. So you have to reprogram. So one more thing that I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to excuse myself. When programming, I liked this. She said, programming creates belief. Belief creates attitude. Attitude creates feelings. Feelings determine actions, and action creates results. That really touched close to home to me, and it gave me those good warm feelings that you need when you're building a business like this. Hey, Tyler. So I just have nothing bad to say about it. It was such a good experience. I am so glad that we were able to go. I was very happy my husband wanted to be part of that training and that he built more belief in Plexus and ready to move his business forward. But if I could say one thing that everyone needs to do is change your mindset, because it all starts with you. So I'm going to excuse myself. I hope the rest of the call goes great. I can't wait to listen to it. Bye, guys.
Thanks so much. All right, next up is Carol. Go ahead, Carol, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I think probably Tiffany said a lot of what I had in mind, and probably everyone else, but the positive mindset, positive affirmations, I think are very important. What I remember, her saying that really struck to me was, you have to love yourself before you can love others, and you have to see value in yourself. before you can add value to other people. And a way to do that, more people than you would think have negative self attitudes about themselves. And so positive affirmations, I think, are very important, and goes along with the book that she was talking about, what to say when you talk to yourself. So just speaking positive affirmations to yourself, and learning to love yourself so that you can love others, and put
Did she cut out on y'all too? Oh no.
to create motivation and action, and just keep just building your belief to keep it going, to keep your why strong, to just always think about that and keep that first and foremost in your mind, to keep you motivated and keep you going. And that's pretty much it. I had actually written down the 5 C's also, but she pretty much did that. I thought that was a real good illustration about how to connect with people and to kind of stick with them all the way, and cultivate that relationship, to build those relationships.
That's awesome. Okay. Carol, are you ready to move to Jessica?
Yes, go.
Awesome. So Jessica Lightfoot, take it away when you're ready. Thanks so much, Carol. Oh, wait for it. Oh no, I can't unmute you. It's not letting me. Okay. Unmute. Why is it not letting me do this? Oh, there we go. Okay. So sorry. Sorry. Okay, Jessica, you can go. You're unmuted.
Oh,
Jess, are you there, Jessica?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
Gosh.
I completely echo what Tiffany and Carol had to say, and kind of want to bounce off that. What stood out to me the most was when Sonya was talking about unlocking your fears and really digging deep into that. She gave the practical steps of ID it, write it down, replace it. That means flip that fear on its head and replace it with present tense positive affirmations, and then repeat those affirmations over and over again. And I think what struck me so much is this idea of you can fill yourself up with so much good stuff that it'll push the bad stuff out, but it's kind of like doing a cleanse. If you get the bad stuff out and then put the good stuff in and keep repeating that good stuff, it's going to stay. And she did this with so much grace in telling her own story about the she was in a bus accident. It was terrifying. Just saying that's a fear that she has, that she doesn't want to get on a bus because of something that had happened in her recent past. But she even identified that she would get over that. Like that's something that she would get over. And so there's that grace, I think, even that we can have for each other and for ourselves of going, man, some of these fears are pretty big, but dealing with them, just writing it down and acknowledging I have this fear is huge. And so that's something I've been working through, and I'm not going to tell you what I've worked through, but that was a big deal for me. And then she talked about, with this whole fear thing, she talked about one of the things she does is she prays that God will put people in her way today that she can talk to. And then she agrees to faithfulness that she's going to talk to them. And so that's one of those things. It makes a different perspective when you've asked for people to be put in your way, and then to acknowledge this person this relationship is set up, and I need to follow through on my part. That was really huge. So that was a big part of it. And I really kept circling over and over the idea of replacing. And so just replacing those negative beliefs with the positive. And I agree, it's about mindset and it's about being positive, but sometimes I know my tendency is to be positive on the surface without having gone deeper. And so I may not really be replacing a fear with a positive affirmation. I'm just trying to put a Band-Aid over it. And so it was such a good reminder to dig deeper into those fears that are really holding me back. So that was the big takeaway from me, among many other things. That's one page of 12 pages of notes. So if you get a chance to pick everybody's brain, do it for sure. So that was my takeaway.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's great. All right. Heather Mulligan, it's your turn. I think you're unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I had a lot of takeaways as well. I had a lot of pages of notes, and everyone has really touched base on everything that I wanted to discuss as well. Something else that also stood out to me, she talked about she said, when people read your book one day, what do you want them to read? And she was referring to, if you start reading a book, you don't start reading the book and then go directly to the end and there was a happy ending at the end, right? She said, you want to write your book, and in your book, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be learning, there's going to be growing, and that's what makes your book unique. And I just loved that, because that way of thinking and that mindset, because we do all have struggles and we do all have our backgrounds that we need growth on. And I loved that she thought of the description of a book. You don't want to open up a book and then it's over. And so I love that part of it. Also programming, and everyone's talked about this, programming your mind and programming your way of thinking. But she said the first step, programming creates beliefs, beliefs create attitudes, attitudes create feelings, feelings determine actions, and actions create results. And she said motivation doesn't create action, action creates motivation. So basically you can go to as many conferences, you can go to a conference every single day, but until you're ready to put feet to that action, and then you'll actually have the motivation to continue on and meet all of those goals. Also, as far as mindset, she said, and this was really, really good, your view of yourself determines your behaviors. So we all have our own insecurities, and so how we see ourselves, we think that's how people see us. And she said people are naturally go to someone that has this light about them. And we all know somebody in our lives that we are just naturally attracted to. And I like that she said you can walk into a room and make it your goal to talk to people, and to that, and Jessica mentioned this as well, that God will put people into your life to talk to, and they will just naturally come up to you and start a conversation. She said a lot of the times she doesn't even have to approach people, they will naturally come to her. And I loved that that aspect of it, to walk into a room, own the room, have that confidence, and then people will naturally be attracted to that confidence. And she also said, the value we put on ourselves is the value others will put on us. And then she had a quote by John Maxwell: if you place a small value on yourself, rest assured the world will not raise the price. And I thought that was an excellent quote. So always put a high value on yourself. Continue daily to internally talk to yourself. Have positive affirmations in your head, because whatever you're thinking to yourself is what is coming, that people are seeing in you. So.
Awesome. Thanks so much. That was a lot of good stuff. So just to recap real quick of what everyone says, because these were the top things, and I totally agree. We are in relationship marketing, we're in network marketing is relationship marketing. And to build those relationships, you have to do those 5 C's. Connect with people, be curious, care about them, cultivate that relationship, and then continue to do those things over and over again. Your mindset and what you say to yourself is so important. And the book that she mentioned is called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. Super cheap books, like $7 on Amazon. Highly recommend it. And programming, Heather and Tiffany both mentioned this because it was so important, but your programming and what you say to yourself will eventually produce results. That's how you get results. Not, like Heather said, you can go to as many conferences as you want to, but that won't matter because your mindset will produce your results. Carol talked about loving yourself before you love others. You've got to fill your cup first. You've got to be pouring into yourself. Do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself and fill your cup, because you can't pour from an empty cup. She also talked about keeping your why strong enough to keep you motivated. There's got to be a reason. We all have a vision for our life, whether we know it or not. Something is pulling us to do the things we do in life. And so your why for doing Plexus needs to be something that is pulling you towards that every day. You're working towards your why, and that'll be enough to keep you doing the actions that you need to take to get there. I love what Jess talked about unlocking your fears and replacing the bad self-talk, the negative self-talk, with the positive self-talk, taking all that furniture out and moving in some new furniture, and acknowledging that this is the fear that I have. This is the fear I have right now, and I may not be afraid of it later, but I do have it right now. And acknowledging that is so important. And also praying for the Lord to put people in your life. Say, Lord, put some people in my life to talk to today. And then when people come into your life, be faithful to that. You asked him to help you, and so he is. So it's your part to be faithful. Heather talked about what will your book look like one day when people read your book. What are they going to see? Are they going to see struggles? Are they going to see fears? Are they going to see you overcoming those struggles, overcoming those fears? Or what are people going to read? And motivation does not create action. Action creates motivation. I think that's huge too. Your view of yourself determines your behavior. And I love the quote that she said, that John Maxwell said, if you place a small value on yourself, rest assured the world will not raise the price. And people are attracted to bold, confident people. People are attracted to the light. And I know that every single person on this team is a light. You are a light. Someone was attracted to you enough to ask you to join Plexus because we see in you this light. We see this bold, confident person in you that would make a great Plexus ambassador and just a great ambassador for the Lord, just a great person. And you have that quality in you. And I think that our programming and what you say when you talk to yourself has a huge impact on you being able to see what others definitely see in you, and not just the 4 of you or 3 of you plus Tiffany here that I personally see in you, but everyone on this team who's going to be listening to this, someone sees that in you, even if I don't know you personally, but someone does see the light in you. So thank you so much, Heather, Jessica, Carol, and Tiffany for talking. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording, and then I'll end the meeting in just a second. Thanks so much.